Hi everyone, it's Jenny from A Stamping Journey with you. Today I wanted to show this really fun fold card. It's using the Whale Done stamp set, which is a really cute set with all these sea creatures. I really don't know what kind of fold you would call this. Is it a reverse gatefold? Maybe a W card? I'm not really sure, so we're just going to call it a fun fold, but if you have a particular name for it, I'd love to hear about it. Just drop the name of it in the comments. It'd be great to see what it's called. So it is using the beautiful Whale of a Time paper, and we've just made a little panel. So I'm going to go through step by step in showing you how to make this. I've already cut the card. Don't get too stressed about the measurements. I'll drop them in the comments or in the post later, so you'll be able to follow along. But just to tell you, I've got this as a standard card size, so depending on what market you're in, it's 14.8 centimeters by 21 centimeters, or you've got 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored this at 5.5. No, at 5.5, 8, 13, and 15.5. In imperial, that would be 1 5/8, 3 1/4, 5 1/4, 6 7/8. You'll also need your other pieces. You're going to have your 2 pieces of designer series paper that will go on the outside. You have a piece for your center. I'll put all these measurements in the post. Then you have a panel that you're going to be stamping for the front with your pretty peacock card mat. So let's get to stamping and then we can assemble it later. All right, we want to create a bit of a sea scene. I really love oceans and seas. I mean, I live so close to the beach. So it's just, I was so excited to see this stamp set. Now you can stamp it however you'd like to, but you can follow along with that too. So we're going to bring both our pieces of white in and we can stamp them at the same time. I hope you can see that. Just move that into position. All right, so getting your different stamps. I think it's a good idea to stamp your sentiment first, because then you can make room for all your other stamps that you're going to put. This is really cute, hoping all your birthday fishes come true. So just ink that up with your memento, with your black, stamp that at the top of your card. Okay, then we're going to get our other stamps. I'm using Bumblebee for our jellyfish. So let's ink that up. Wipe if you get a little bit of ink all over the place. It's good to stamp off part of it, off the side of it. I'll add another jellyfish up here. Great googly jellyfish. All right, now you are going to stamp your seaweed. I'm going to do that a couple of times along the bottom of each piece. I'm using Granny Apple Green. I love the brightness of that colour. So give that a good ink. So you can stamp that on your bottom of your inside panel. It's good to do both at the same time. Ink up a bit more and we'll stamp that along there too. Now we can add some seaweed to the bottom of this part too. You could add some pretty peacock seaweed. There's a smaller seaweed image in the set. You could add a little bit of the peacock seaweed. That'd be really cool too. Alright, so now we want our fish. Let's add some fish using a pretty peacock ink. The good thing with this fish stamp is you can stamp that any way. You can have them going either direction, which is pretty cool. So just ink that up with our pretty peacock ink, stamp that on our panel. Again down the bottom. Don't forget your inside piece. Now, then we've got our pool party, which we're going to ink our bubbles and our seahorse. These seahorses are cute. I held a seahorse one day, went to an aquarium, and it was wrapped around my finger. It was so amazing. They're just so graceful floating in the water. We want to add a few seahorses to our image. Add one up the top here. I'm going to even add one to the center part. Okay, try a little bit of the bubbles. You can add bubbles wherever you want. Let's add some bubbles down there. Hopefully I'm not getting out of shot. It's a bit hard to get a bit carried away with stamping sometime and you don't realise where you are. Add a few bubbles. Alright, so we've done all our stamping. Create that however you like. Now we're going to assemble it. So bring in our card base again. You can add another sentiment on that centerpiece if you want, but you've got enough room there to write on. Alright, so we've got our card base and our pieces of designer series paper. We'll bring our glue in. I'm using the multi-purpose adhesive for that. So firstly, I think it's a good idea to fold on the score lines first. So we're going to fold inward. We're just going to fold on all these and then we could fix it up in the right way later. Doesn't matter. All right, so now this one is going to go outwards and that one's going to go outwards. Does that make sense? So you fold, isn't it? So just fold on your score lines and then just pull those other two to create wings. Maybe it's a wing fold card. That's an interesting term. All right, so now let's glue our pieces on it. All right, add your bit of adhesive. Oh, look, you've got pretty seahorses on the back of this one. You could always make it seahorses, couldn't you? All right, then we're going to add our other piece. All right. Add that to there. All right, now what you want to do is add your centerpiece to it. Add some adhesive around there. It's really not much to this card. The fancy thing is the cool fold. Once you've done all your stamping, it's just sticking it all together. All right, add. Now, there is a bit of a trick to this. Just make sure. Let's glue this piece on. And then we'll glue it onto the front of our panel. But you want to make sure that you're not going to stick your glue all over it. Well, that's going to make a bit of a mess and you're not going to be able to open your card. Just tuck those edges in. All right, I like the multi-purpose adhesive because you can just allows you to slide it into place. Now, what you want to do is only put your adhesive on half this section. So then that will go onto your card like that. You don't want to stick it all over. So we're just going to stick our adhesive on this part. So just, I find it easier, run that halfway down there so you know where to go. Then you're just going to add that to the front. So you've got evenly spaced. Let's have a look. I've done position pretty good. All right. Now, let's have a look. I always like to add bling. Nothing like bling, is there? Let's add a little bit of shiny rhinestones on it. I think every card I make pretty well has some bling. All right, so there is your reverse gatefold, fun fold, W fold, but it's using the great Well Done stamp set. If you're in Australia and want to get this stamp, then stop by my store and you can drop an order in there or contact me directly. All my details will be on there. It's a really fun set. I've made some other great cards with it lately too that you'll see on my blog. And I hope you enjoyed seeing how to make this fun card. So be sure to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube so you don't miss out on any other of my videos. And I hope we'll see you again soon. Bye.